All right. Am I visible? Sick. So I have gone on a long journey with squatting, uh, starting in like high school, right? When we learned how to squat for football lifting purposes. Now, I didn't really think that much about form at that time, even though like I had people that were correcting form. We had coaches, we had like PE teachers essentially that were helping us with form. I just didn't think about it that much, right? Like when you're young and you're made of rubber, you can just like do whatever with a squat. And as long as you're moving the bar and you're not in like totally goofed up proportions, someone's going to be like, yep, that's clean. That's good. So when I graduated high school and went into college and basically like sat on my ass for an entire year, uh, gained a bunch of weight and just like not completely forgot how to lift, but just really fell out of a lot of my lifting habits. I kind of forgot how to squat. So at a certain point, when I was getting back to it, uh, I was starting to experience a lot of lower back pain, and I didn't understand why. I thought like I was squatting this before, like even if it was less weight, like I understood that I had lost some strength. All of that was fine, but I didn't get why it was that I was just constantly in this like heaving lower back pain to where like I could hardly like bend at the waist anymore. Now, the thing that I was doing when I was squatting at that time was I was doing a high bar squat, which is the typical squat that you will see people do. Sometimes you'll see people who are in powerlifting do something like a low bar squat, which is going to bias the glutes and just the posterior chain a little bit more. But I would say, I'm gonna be honest, I think low bar is more advanced. Most people learn to do a high bar squat where it's over the back of your shoulders. And what I was doing is I would squat down and I would squat forward, right? And at the time, this felt like a natural movement for me because I had weight over my shoulders, like my knees were still kind of over my toes, and then I would press back up through here and then straighten to the top. So to show you one more time, I would come down here on a squat and I would creep forward and I would press back up with my hips in this position and then straighten up at the top. Now, in the rear view, I can see very clearly why that hurt my back, why it hurt so much. But nowadays, I've got my squat a little more fixed to where instead of that, I'm dropping the bar forward with my shoulders, I'm sitting back into my hips and I'm keeping my spine neutral so that when I'm at the bottom here, that bar is stacked over, or mostly stacked over, my hips rather than here over my knees and extending my back out more than it needs to. And when I'm pressing back up, nice straight bar path. So demonstrate that one more time. Sitting backward into the squat and keeping that bar stacked over those points of contact and then pressing up through the ceiling. So that is how, in a really short, admittedly a pretty short format, like how my squat has changed, but it wasn't a day and night thing. It was I needed to strengthen my glutes. I needed to strengthen my core and my lower back so that I could hold that load backward. I need to work on some shoulder stuff too so that my shoulders weren't pulling forward when I was going down for a squat.